All right, welcome everybody to Monday Night Team Call. I'm Jamie Haskin, Diamond Ambassador, if you do not know who I am. And I have the privilege of talking to you guys tonight, and we are going to specifically talk about three big things, and that is fears, limiting belief, and vision, and really the connection that they may have and why we might need to really identify that. So we're going to go into some different specific things tonight. And to be clear, first and foremost, I want to say that having fears, having limited beliefs does not guarantee that you are going to struggle and that you cannot be successful. For example, when I started, I had very, very, very little belief in myself, I would say. And I had a very, very big fear of what other people would think. So everyone has fears and doubts and belief issues at one point or another, I would dare venture to say. So that does not mean that it is going to affect you in this business necessarily. And it doesn't mean that you get to a point where you never have any fears or doubts or struggles, right? Because we all still have those things. But the question comes into play is if this is affecting your vision and therefore affecting your actions, then this is vital to identify and to confront. So I want you guys to grab pen, paper, type, use your phone, whatever you want to do, but I'm definitely going to be running through a lot of questions tonight, and I did not take the time to create a PowerPoint, so I'm going to be speaking them. So I'd like you guys to, you don't have to necessarily write down every question, but I want you to at least reflect on them and write down maybe your answers. And, some might hit more home for you than others, or they might be very effective in coaching, your people and things like that. So be ready. First of all, vision. Let's talk about vision, and then we're going to work backwards from there. I want to define two things, opportunity and vision. What is the difference? So in opportunity, there's a similar opportunity for everyone, specifically this business, right? With the same opportunity. What is available, the facts about earning potential, ranks, numbers, comp plan, all the details, right? We have an opportunity here. Vision is yours to decide and yours to define, connecting with the vision of this team, your vision, the vision that you're going to pass along to your people. Vision is not just about the dollar point or a rank. It may include details in there as it all comes to play. It might have some of that, that might be goals that you're hitting, but there is much, much more to vision than that. It brings in purpose. It brings in emotion and impact. It's bigger than just you. It's bigger than one person. And in fact, if it's only been about you thus far, then we are missing the boat. So a couple definitions to get you thinking, looking up like what a life vision is and just defining that. It defines who you want to be, what you want to be known for, set of experiences and accomplishments you aim for. Your vision helps define the goals by giving you a framework to evaluate those goals, and your vision becomes your why. Now, defining a team vision, you're looking at long-term change you would like to see when your work is successful. A vision should motivate and enable individuals to see how their effort contributes to an overall purpose. So what is your vision? Creating your vision script. We're going to talk about that for a second. And I'm not going to go into insane details because there's too many aspects to this call tonight. But in terms of a vision script, I'm going to define that, and we're going to go through that right now. I want to, first of all, give you permission to envision the ideal future without dwelling on how you are going to get there. The thoughts of your how will strangle the what, which means you're never going to get to where you want to go. What I mean by that is if you are so focused on how this can happen and you have the doubts and the fears and the limiting belief with that how, then you're not even going to be able to get to the what. You're not even going to be able to get to that vision, right? So give yourself permission to think about the vision without worrying about the how right now. So questions to prompt your vision. I'm going to ask you a bunch. Who do you want to attract? What characteristics do they share? What does your culture look like? Who do you help? How do the products and opportunity help others? How do you reach others? How do you value others? What is your impact? What is your reach? How do you hope the growth will impact you and your team? How do you add value? When I think about, I just sat for a few minutes and thinking about my vision, what I'm doing for this team. For when I think about vision, I think what came to mind for me was creating leaders who create leaders, who make a change, who reach people who are broken in their health, who provide tools for better quality of health, who provide options for others who have for others to have a financial margin and freedom for their lives with less strain and worry, who are growth minded and push through barriers to grow in their skills that God's given them, to push past fear and doubts, to become successful, to help others, to shine his light, for people to lead with passion, for people to inspire others to do the same. So whatever your vision is, take some time to think about that. But these questions are just the start to writing what is referred to as your vision script. It is a tool to change the tired, discouraging story that so many people are living. You get to inspire the what so that people can find their why. People really are motivated by creating real change in this world. So that's why I say it's much, much bigger than a dollar point or a rank, right? It's the vision, the change that is happening because of this. And as the vision-driven leader, it is your job to envision that change and inspire others to come alongside with you. So does your vision inspire? Is there passion? Is there purpose? Does it excite you? If it doesn't excite you, then how can you portray it in a way to excite others? How does that get received by others if you are not even excited about it yourself? If it fails to inspire, it will surely expire. It's got to at least inspire you a little bit, right? So book recommendation real quick here, The Vision Driven Leader by Michael Hyatt. There's more on vision script in here if you want to dive into that more. So why might someone have vision problems? Why do some people struggle with their vision? Maybe they're just not sure what it is or how to define it. And we just covered some of that above. So that kind of clears some of that up. But more so, and what I want to dive into more from here is sometimes we just plain and simply get in our own way. Sometimes we have a cloudy vision. Sometimes we have a stunted vision. And when I think about that, I think about a cloudy vision. I think that, like when you're driving and it's foggy outside, you can't really see where you're going. Maybe you can only see 10 feet in front of you. Cloudy is defined as uncertain or unclear. Or a stunted vision, I think of the old wives' tale of coffee stunting your kids' growth. And, having a stunted vision, you could grow more, but something else has stopped it. Stunted is preventing growth or developing properly. So if we have a cloudy or stunted vision, there's a problem, right? So the question that needs to be asked is, why would your vision be cloudy or stunted? So where I feel like that can come back to then is the fears or the limited beliefs. So let's talk about fears. First of all, fears are normal. Fear, like I said at the beginning, that is very, very normal for people to have fears. But what might be some fears getting in the way of our vision? Some really quick to name, maybe a fear of failure, making mistakes. Maybe that brings on embarrassment or humiliation or shame. Maybe you don't feel like you're good enough. whatever your view on failure really quick, if you're scared of it, if you're avoiding it, if it's something you just don't want to show, fear of failure, or failure itself, I should say, is normal, right? We all are going to have bouts of failure. So it's how we move forward from that. It's what we learn and grow through with that. Other fears, fear of success. That could be fear of maybe more responsibility, what you're capable of, that you're not capable of it. Maybe you don't feel good enough. Maybe you think it's going to be too hard. Maybe there's some shame wrapped around that then. Maybe you got a money mindset. If there's something that roots back to, having a pushback on what money means to you, then fear of success is going to continue to be a problem. Money mindset is a big thing that keeps coming up. And if you have something with that, watch something on Jessica Heffley. She's got YouTube videos and she's got a podcast, but that's a big one. Fear of what others think would be another one, just like a fear of man, maybe gossip, rejection, not being liked, what others expect of you, rising up to others' expectations, maybe, versus defining your own. So whatever your fears could be, take some time to write them down. I hope you've been writing some down while I've been talking, if anything has come to mind. Fear itself is not something to be shameful of or to hide from. It simply matters how we face it. And I got a really quick share here because this popped up just before I got on team call. John Maxwell had something pop up on Instagram, a reel, and he said in it, what I focus on expands. So if fear dominates your life, it's because it's the dominating emotion in your life. So what do? You starve your fear and you feed your faith. How do I do that? I feed my faith by focusing on the positives, beliefs, and diminishing fear by putting it behind me. What I focus on expands. What I put behind me gets smaller. So we're going to talk more about that in a little bit, but I had to share it because what's the likelihood that pops on right before I get on this call? So limiting belief really quick. Really can sum up super quick. Usually you have limiting belief either in yourself, in this industry, like network marketing, Plexus, this industry itself, or the products. So why might limiting beliefs be affecting your vision? If it's on yourself, maybe it works for other people, but I don't know if it can work for me. You don't really necessarily believe in yourself. Network marketing, it doesn't really work. People don't like it. It's saturated. Like all the problems are all the things that you come up with at network marketing. Products, well, what if they didn't work? People are detoxing, being afraid of people quitting, not having belief that this is actually something that's helping, and you're letting those fears and doubts get in. So how can the limiting belief and the fears affect your vision? I think the obvious thing is if it's in your thoughts, it's affecting your decisions, which is going to affect your actions, and it's going to affect your vision and your business. So how does this affect it? It can affect how you're showing up. You're not going to really show up probably if you have either limited belief in yourself or maybe fear in failure. Consistency, same thing. If you're in and out. Visible leadership, whether or not you think you can show up as a leader or define yourself as a leader, that goes back to belief in yourself, or maybe it goes back into fear of success or fear of failure, fear of what other people think. Developing business builders, same thing. Following up, whether or not you even follow up with people. If you're expecting the worst with the products, if you're expecting detox, you're expecting them to quit. Setting goals, all these things can be affected. It can turn into self-sabotage. You can get defensive on things. You could get avoidant. Well, I'm just not good at that. Or, well, I don't really care about that. I need to start doing this, but you just keep putting it off. Or maybe you're not talking about the business with other people because, they probably won't want it. But deep down, there's a fear of what they'll think. So you're avoiding it. You don't follow up because you're anticipating the worst. Like I just said, you're avoiding going for goals. Therefore, you avoid the action steps. Therefore, you don't rank up and hit those goals, and you have a self-fulfilling prophecy going on. So how are your fears or your limiting beliefs potentially affecting your business? And you might even feel like you're protecting yourself, because really, truly, that's probably what your mind is trying to do, right? It's normal to want to be comfortable. It's safe to be comfortable, to not put yourself out there. So the thing that your mind is going to do is protect yourself. Give yourself the excuses, pull back, whatever that is. But the crazy of it is, this is not protection. These are not the things that you need to protect yourself from. This is how you grow. This is how you lead by example. This is how you help other people. It's more than just about you. All right, awareness. So how aware are you? Some of you may be keenly aware of your fears. It's in your thoughts. Maybe it's in your thoughts every single day. And it's easy for you to identify then. Maybe it's not easy to admit or confront, but you know what it is. And for other people, you may not really be sure what that is. It may not be easy to pinpoint. Maybe, you have certain things that are holding you back, but you're not really sure why. And maybe it's playing a role in your actions, in your vision, but you don't even realize it. So questions to ask yourself to kind of help identify this. I'm going to go off with a bunch of questions again. So ready? First of all, you can ask, what are my fears or limiting beliefs? Plain and simple, right? Why do I have this fear or limiting belief? What am I focusing on? Has it affected my decisions and actions? How am I holding myself back? Or if that's too hard to identify that way, let's go backwards a little bit. So let's first start with, what is my vision? How clear is my vision? Is it growing? If my vision is cloudy or stunted, why might that be? Am I avoiding a feeling or action? What makes me uncomfortable? What am I fearful of? Why am I fearful of that? So just some questions to get you thinking. I encourage you to answer those for yourself. And I'm going to keep going on here. So what you focus on expands, it grows. The idea isn't to get rid of the fear and the limited belief in order to be successful. Fears are normal. We talked about that, right? It's whether you are acting in spite of it or if you're pulling back because of it. Wavering belief can even be normal. Sometimes we struggle in those valleys. That can be normal. I know a diamond friend who had, limited belief in herself all the way up till diamond, but she didn't let it hold her back. She kept growing through it, right? So are you going to keep going and growing through it, or are you going to hide or give up? You can absolutely grow through it all. That's why having a clear vision, and even if that's from your upline or your team, even if that's a little cloudy for you right now, what is that vision from your upline or your team that is valuable? You have a guide, you have a map, you can choose where your focus is. Growth and vision or fears and limiting beliefs. What's your choice? The nice thing is, as you grow through it, you're likely going to grow out of it. Maybe not completely, we're not perfect, but there is and will be growth. So my question is, what are you focused on? Because what you focused on expands. So let's talk about a multiplying effect. How is this multiplying? Is it multiplying? It could be could it be affecting how I speak to others, whether it's potentials, whether it's your team members? Is it affecting, is it something you say or something you don't say? Could it be affecting how I'm taking action, something you're doing or things that you're avoiding or putting off? Are others following this? Is it multiplying? Another word for that you guys are familiar with is it duplicating? If these things are affecting your vision, your action, then another question would be to ask is, are they capping you? What are you capable of? Your growth, your impact, is that being capped because of your fear or because of a limited belief? Are they capping your team? If it's capping you, is it capping your team, their growth, their impact? Is it stunting or clouding the vision for your team? If it's stunting and clouding yours, I'm going to say probably yes, because it's affecting how you are communicating, right? So don't cap your potential. Don't cap your leadership. Don't be the one to stop that for yourself. It affects you growing your skills, your gifts, your talents, and it affects those who you'd have the opportunity to touch, but maybe you are getting in your own way and therefore in theirs. Why would you want to cap what you're capable of? What God can and will do through you. You are being equipped, okay? But you have to take the next steps. That is you. Those are your steps to take. Action. So we called it out. We identified it. Let's talk about some action. Some more questions. What are you going to do about it? You know it. We're identifying it. We're talking about it. We're calling it out. What are you going to do about it? More questions. Do I want this to be a truth about myself? Do I want this to decide my actions and my future decisions? Do I want this to impact my growth? Do I want this to limit my impact and reach? When, not if, when resistance comes, it's not the facts of the situations that are our problem, but how we respond emotionally, our thoughts, our decisions thereafter. It's okay to have struggles. It's okay to have the fears and doubts, but what are we going to do moving forward? We will experience the fear, the doubt, the disappointment, the failure, but we do not have to let them dictate our actions, and we can choose not to sit in it. So we're going to capture it and we're going to replace it. And we're going to quick talk, hopefully quick, maybe not so quick, about this. And I'm going to reference Switch on Your Brain. Some of you are familiar with it if you are not, but it's by Dr. Caroline Leaf. And because of the power of this book, I'm going to quote a few things from it to give you some reference. And then we're going to talk about what to do about it. So she says, what you think with your mind changes your brain and body. And you are designed with the power to switch on your brain. Your mind is that switch. She also says we are not victims of our biology or circumstances. How we react to the events and circumstances of life can have an enormous impact on our mental and even physical health. She talks about neuroplasticity in this book. So it's literally science. It's neuroplasticity means the brain is malleable, it's adaptable, it's ever changing, right? So this is actually something physically happening. Quote here is, every morning when you wake up, new baby nerve cells have been born while you were sleeping that are there at your disposal to be used in tearing down toxic thoughts and rebuilding healthy thoughts. How empowering is that, you guys? Last quote here, scientists are proving that the relationship between what you think and how you understand yourself, your beliefs, dreams, hopes, thoughts, I'm going to add your fears, your doubts, your limiting beliefs, all of that has a huge impact on how your brain works. Okay, so that's all in Switch on Your Brain. I keep saying brained. And then there are some key points. So these I'm going to list because I think it's powerful. There's a bunch of them. I did not list them. I'm not going to list them all, but I still want to name a bunch here. So one, some key points in this book, your body is not in control of your mind. Your mind is in control of your body, and your mind is stronger than your body. Number two, you cannot control the events and circumstances of life, but you can control your reaction to those events and circumstances. Number three, you are designed to stand outside yourself and observe your own thinking and change it. Number four, happiness comes from within and success follows, not the other way around. Number five, you can get the chaos in your mind under control. Number six, you don't have to walk around in guilt and condemnation. Number seven, if you wired the toxic thoughts in, you can wire them out. Number eight, you don't have to get stuck in bad habits. You can change them. Number nine, you can overcome feelings of rejection and hurt. Number 10, you don't have to worry about things that are out of your control. Number 11, you are not a victim of the things you shouldn't be doing. Number 12, you can balance your overthinking and overanalyzing mind. Number 13, you don't have to keep digging into the past to get free from it. And number 14, you can be happy and filled with peace regardless of your circumstances. So neuroplasticity is proof on what we talk about. Whatever we think about the most will grow. This applies to the positive and the negative, the fears, the limiting beliefs, right? Or belief in vision and purpose. So the validity of catching your thoughts is a real thing. When you make a conscious decision to direct your attention, you can physically change your brain in a healthy way. It is your choice. Research shows that only 5 to 16 minutes a day of focused capturing of thoughts is enough to shift your frontal brain states. So what we think about, say, do, that is driven by our non-conscious mind. You guys see the importance here, right? So really quick action steps. She gives a 5-step thing in here. It's called her 21-day detox plan. I'm going to give you the 5 steps really quick. Step 1 is gather. What that means is it's the awareness part. It's what you're telling yourself. Gather all your thoughts. Kind of all those questions that I gave you earlier, you can utilize that. Step number 2 is focused reflection. So you can think about what needs to change. What really is the truth? Think about it, understand, apply wisdom. Remember that your thoughts don't control you. Identify the change. We talk about positive affirmations. You're familiar, a lot of you are familiar with that. Number 3, write. So take some time to journal out all those thoughts. Number 4, revisit. So that's evaluating where you have come from and where you are going, shifting to the new healthy thought. And then number 5 is active reach. That's going to be your actions and your exercises that you actually say and do. Saying those positive affirmations out loud, your actions, it lines up the thought, which is your imagination, with the confession, which is the words coming out of your mouth, and the action. All right, so there's your steps. So let's quick talk about clear vision. And I'm wrapping this up right now, and we should be pretty good on time. So if confronting these things is going to help uncloud things, right? Help unstunt things, and we're going to have clear vision. That's the goal, right? So I want you guys to comment me, raise your hand, whatever you want to do, if you've ever felt like you've been in over your head in this business. If you felt like you leapt before you knew exactly what you were doing, if you felt like, you're just out of your comfort zone and you're not quite there yet. I know I can. The great thing is, you guys, when you work and play at the edge of your abilities, it's easy to feel that way. It's normal. But also because you work at the edge of your abilities, you're growing, you're learning, you're expanding your skills, you're doing things afraid. That is why you are successful. That is why you are here right now. So what if we didn't allow all the doubts and the fears and the limiting beliefs have the last word? Since your vision is the snapshot of something with bigger purpose and a bigger future and something bigger than yourself, isn't it worth overcoming the stumbling blocks that our internal resistance and fear throw in our path? We absolutely can leverage the strength to lead with courage and confidence in spite of the resistance. It doesn't mean you're not going to have resistance. It doesn't mean you're not going to have fears and doubts and stumble. We all do. But what are you going to do when that happens? You're going to lead with courage and confidence and move forward in spite of it. You're going to work around it. You're going to figure it out. Getting to the root of fears and thoughts, we can then get rid of some of those barriers that may be standing in the way of that clear vision, right? We can remove those clouds. We can stop stunting our own vision and growth. So identify those fears, the limiting beliefs, the thoughts, and do the 5 steps with a switch on your brain. Okay. And then create your vision script. How does this free you up from the things that have been holding you back before? How does this open your vision up even more? Allow you to have a bigger vision. Your vision will keep growing. It's not a one-time stagnant thing. So let this empower you to move forward with purpose and passion. Be contagious so that when the next thing gets in your way, because it will, identify it and capture it and replace it and grow your vision more. That's what I got for you guys. I hope this is helpful. Please take action following this call and utilize some of this for yourself and for your people. So love you guys. Thanks for hopping on. See ya.